Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another fun-filled video for you. And today we're going to be doing an unboxing of this new knife that I got, this new discontinued knife that I got off of eBay. And I got good news for you. You can actually still get this knife if you're interested in this piece. The price on this knife has not even gone up. It's pretty much the same price that it was when it was a knife that was running in the Spyderco lineup. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I got. Okay, like I said, you will never see a real true unboxing, you know, where I get it in the mail and rip it open. That's just not going to happen. I don't know how those guys can do it, but I can tell you honestly, I can't do it. So nothing special, right? Just a Spyderco box. Okay. I actually left out the paperwork. Sorry about that. I got it in the drawer, but you've seen that also. This is the Spyderco Chokwe. And this is a fairly big knife. It's not a small one. We're going to be doing some size comparisons on this one in a minute. But let's go ahead and start out with the overall specs that I'm going to get straight from the Spyderco website. So the overall length of this knife is 8.5 inches. The blade length on this knife is 3.75 inches. The steel is CPM S30V steel. No one's a stranger to that steel. The closed length of the knife is 4.75 inches. The cutting length is roughly 3.375 inches in length. This is a frame lock knife with G10 on the show side, and on the lock side all titanium. The pocket clip is tip up and tip down, lock side only. It has only 2 standoffs. How about that? 2 standoffs on the knife. The knife has these holes in the middle to kind of keep the knife nice and light. The grind on the blade obviously is Spyderco's popular flat grind as opposed to the hollow grind, which I love, but nothing wrong with the flat grind. And the blade shape is really interesting. This starts out as a Wharncliffe style blade from here all the way up to about this point. Then it curves up where it looks like it's a clip point. So basically this is a modified Wharncliffe style blade. I absolutely do love the shape. One of the things that I find really appealing about the knife is all these angles on it. It looks weird opened aesthetically because you've got this really thin, and then it gets kind of fat over here in your eye, and then you know the way you're looking at it, and then it starts to thin out over here on this part of the handle, and then it gets fat again. So there's a lot of like angular aesthetics with this piece. Yeah, most fascinating thing though is how many standoffs there are. I mean, come on, look at that. There's one standoff there, and then there's one right in there, and that's all. You know, it's not like there's 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, standoffs in it. The holes do add some lightness to the knife. This is a very, very lightweight knife. So, this knife is called the Spyderco Chokwe. And Chokwe means the people. There is a new version of this knife called the Watu, which, guess what, guys? I got it. We're going to do the unboxing for that one as well at a later date. That one's coming. We're not going to do that one today, but I did order that knife also, and we'll probably do a special review where I get to compare this knife to the Watu. So this is basically before the Watu. This is their original, this is what they originally envisioned for this knife. This is part of their... The Chokwe is part of Spyderco's Ethnic Series lineup, you know, and definitely the Ethnic Series does not get enough attention. The ergos from holding this knife, I can tell you, the ergos feel really, really great. There are no hot spots on this knife. Not even the Spyderco pocket clip does not dig into my hand at all. So this is a really very comfortable ergonomic piece to be holding. If you were going to be doing any kind of cutting all day long with it, you would not have a problem. The knife's action, very, very smooth. Yeah, there you go. It's real smooth, guys. There you go. So, yeah, the action on the knife is really very, very smooth. It is an ambidextrous piece, so it is a right-handed knife and a left-handed knife. Right? You can do all the Spyderco flicks you want. The middle finger, you know, the thumb flick, like you just saw me do. Well, I'm not left-handed, but, you know, if I work on it. I did it a minute ago. So you can do the thumb flick either in the left or the right hand. You know, you can even do the backwards flick, which doesn't even exist, but if you're a knife maker, you'll probably wind up doing that all night long, because I love to do that, and it's not even something you're supposed to be doing. So, yeah, so the knife is definitely ambidextrous, so that's definitely a plus. The lockup on the knife, let's see, that is at about, I'm going to say like, maybe like 40% maybe, lockup on that. There were some complaints on this knife early on. I probably got one of the older releases of this knife as it was ending towards discontinuing. But people were complaining about this knife having a ton of lock stick on it because it's titanium rubbing up against titanium, and you know, I don't. As you guys can see, though, I have no problem. But you know, knives that do have that problem, they usually have a lock bar insert. This one does not have that. But again, like I said, I don't have a problem with the lock stick on it. There is none on this knife, as far as I'm concerned. Really fantastic. This is another one of those that's really very, very flickable. It's just a huge, it's a very big knife, you know what I mean? So why don't we go do some size comparison so you can see what this knife is, you know, the real size of this knife. So let's go ahead and pull out some. So let's start with one of my favorites. I just did the full review on this in the last video. Probably still uploading. The Spyderco Bradley. So as you can see, it's roughly about the same size as the Spyderco Bradley. Right. How about up against the Spyderco... Oops, got rid of the wrong knife. How about if we put it up against the Spyderco Swish Bowie? So as you can see, it is larger than the Swish Bowie. Right, and the Swish Bowie is not exactly a small knife. So, Spyderco Swish Bowie. How about everybody's favorite, the Zero Tolerance 0562? Right. It's even, as you can see, the knife's even bigger than that knife, and this is supposed to be big as a beast, the zero tolerance knife. So the 0562. Let's see. How about the Kershaw Bare Knuckle, an M390? Definitely a knife that's gone up on eBay now. Thank God I got one. So, and the Bare Knuckle is actually a large knife, but check it out. I mean, this is even a little bit bigger. I mean, look at that. That thing is gigantic. So, let's put it up against a couple of knives, two more that you don't even see in my collection all that much. How about the Chris Reeve and Cosi? Right? One of my favorite everyday carries, and I do use quite often. Chris Reeve and Cosi, and then the Chris Reeve. How about the small one, Cosi? Because I didn't put any small knives up against it. So as you can see, it definitely towers over the small and Cosi knife. So there you have it for size comparison. So let's just get some more talking in on this one. So the Spyderco Chokwe knife, like I said, is part of their ethnic series. Most people don't usually go for the ethnic series because there's so many other knives out there. The ethnic series just seems to come out with some very, very strange looking designs. Chokwe is more of a South African look to it, which is why I own it now, because as you guys know, I'm a big South African knife fan. In fact, I don't own any customs other than South African for now. That doesn't mean I'm never going to own any other kind of custom, but right now I'm into South African knives, so that's where I'm staying for now. So this is kind of definitely South African influenced. I highly recommend everybody take a look at the Ethnic series, no matter what knife it is, because, you know, when you see the videos on the knife, you think, wow, that's really weird, that's really strange. But then you get the knife in your hand, and it's a completely different story. You actually begin to, the knife starts to grow on you. And that's actually part of the experience. I mean, not everybody wants to stay, you know, on track with, you know, the more popular knives, the knives that have been you know, overdone on YouTube to death, you know, like the Spyderco Swiss Bowie, the Paramilitary 2, the Zero Tolerance 0562. It's always kind of fun to have, you know, let your eyes roam and wander through the Spyderco catalog, because those guys, man, Spyderco's got so much variety. I mean, there are knives out there I'm sure I haven't even seen reviews on, but every year they come out with the supplements, they come out with the, you know, the brand new catalogs for the new year, and they just quickly go over the knives, and only Spyderco goes over them very quickly, and you never see them again. Nobody ever does any reviews, so, or even unboxings, and I think that that's a real shame, because Spyderco goes through a lot of hard work to find artistic knives for the buying public, and, you know, you really ought to try them out, or at least give them a shot, because don't forget, you can buy these knives and then sell them. You know, if you don't like them, they're definitely still worth the money. Probably the most attractive thing on this knife, yeah, I would have to say, is the slab of G10 and the holes in there. That is really, really very nice. Really adds a nice light touch to it aesthetically. I'm not sure that I enjoy the pocket clip covering the holes, because you can't really see it on the lock side, which I think is kind of strange. But, you know, it's just another design thing. The knife runs on phosphor bronze washers. It is a very, very smooth knife. Like I said, this knife could be considered an, you know, more like an ethnic version of the Paramilitary 2. I think the blade shape's probably going to confuse a lot of people, because at first off at bat, you look at it, it is a Wharncliffe style blade up until you get to about this point, and then it's a clip point. So it's just weird. I don't understand why they couldn't just do it as a straight Wharncliffe style blade. I think it would have gave the Yojimbo 2 a run for their money. But, you know, whatever. Spyderco does what they do. They want to try and, you know, come out with some interesting blade shapes. I really do love how light the knife looks. Right out of the box, the centering on it is dead. Dead on. That definitely always turns me on. You know, I've said before my thoughts on centering. It really does not matter in the long run if a knife is centered. Why? Because obviously the more you use a knife, heavily or even lightly, the knife is going to go off-centered. However, when you first buy a knife, it's important to see that centered look and the fact that the knife is perfectly centered, in my opinion, because you're seeing the knife in its most perfect state that it possibly can be in. So at least when you buy the knife, you know that the knife can be in a perfect state, even though you're going to be using it heavily and it's going to go off-centered, so on and so forth. You know, it's always nice to know that a knife can be that way if you want it to be. So that's important. Accessibility on the knife, like I said, and anybody can flick this knife. It's just an ambidextrous piece. Thumb, you know, middle finger. I've already done this part, right? You know, either hand, it works. When you are assessing the knife, also the pocket clip does not get in the way. Some of the knives, the pocket clip is, I don't know, it's like in a weird place and you can't do the Spidey flick, but this knife, you don't have that problem. You can do all the flicks that you want on this one, so. Definitely a unique piece with just two standoffs. I've never seen that on a knife. I don't know if anybody else has, but I think that that's really cool looking. I mean, that openness of the knife when you're looking at it. I mean, I think that that's just spectacular, the way they did that. And the knife is as solid as a rock. The G10 on this knife, it feels kind of like, it's very grippy. It feels kind of like Zytel, which is a cheaper material, but it's G10. It's the real thing, the real stuff on it. The combination of materials between the titanium and the G10 makes the perfect grip for this piece overall. So there you have it, the Spyderco discontinued Chokwe. You know, like I said, the knife had some serious lock stick issues when they first were released, and they now discontinued it, and they brought the knife back in a new way. I'm going to go ahead and do the unboxing on that knife when I get it, and we'll do a quick comparison between the old version of the knife and the new Watu knife. So this is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, just doing this quick unboxing. I'll do a full review on this piece at a later date. I still got more stuff coming. I've got my customs coming back from Arucas Plumeris in South Africa. I'm going to do a special video on customer service for him because he really went through a lot of trouble for me to get my knife. That's another video. So there we have it, the Spyderco Chokwe discontinued. Definitely, I'll let you guys know if this is worth a knife picking up as far as using and having. But I can tell you right now, from the aesthetics, from just handling it, that I'm gonna love it. I mean, you know, the ergonomics fantastic. You know, the knife is just monstrously smooth, and I love that. There you go, the Spyderco Chokwe. This is Omar, the Knife Shark Guy, signing off, hoping you'll find or come across this beautiful ethnic series knife, the Spyderco Chokwe, in your collection. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Have a great night.